Welcome to my CPE301 Lab 10 Experiment 3 video. In this video, I'm interfacing an ultrasonic ping distance sensor and a temperature sensor to display units in both metric and standard outputs. So we're going to read temperature in Celsius and Fahrenheit and distance in centimeters and inches. So what we're going to do with this code is we're going to take an input from the terminal and we're going to output that input command to the LCD on the board, and then the data that the board gathers is going to be sent back to the terminal to display as an output. So just going through some of our functions here, a lot of these are reused from previous labs and previous design assignments from the lecture. We got LCD commands. This add character command, this is gonna append a string every time and create a string out of our character inputs that we put into the terminal every time. Same ADC commands as usual. This calculate distance function, this is toggling port C pin 4 that we have our distance sensor connected to. And it's using timer 1 to measure the amount of time that it takes to get the distance back, to get the signal back, and then it's calculating the distance. We're measuring distance in centimeters and inches every time, so we can use the same function for both output in units. We'll just determine which data to display. So when it comes up, we have our command list here. As you can see here, we're looking for enter command. We're waiting for the enter key. Once we get the enter key, once we're looking for the enter key here, but every time we're not getting the enter key, we're just go ahead and we're appending that string. And then once we do get the enter key, we're outputting to the LCD and clearing the string. And here's our case statement where all the action is happening. We have cases for temperature in Celsius, temperature in Fahrenheit, distance in centimeters, distance in inches, and then I did implement a partial portion of the extra credit for the help screen. So this help screen is going to display when you type the help command. And then we have a command does not exist as our default case. So let's go ahead and jump into it here. So let's start with the help command. Type help, and we get the help list that shows up. So let's go ahead and start with our first command that was required, and it's temperature in Celsius. So if I hold my finger on it, you can see the sensor warm up and then cool back down. And you can see every time I type it into the terminal and hit enter, it displays on the board before we get the data. So let's move to the next one. Now we're going to read in Fahrenheit. And I've set this just for our testing purpose and display purposes to just read 100 values. We don't want it to read continuously because, we're just proving that the code works here today. So now we're going to read distance in centimeters. So it starts up, and you can see as I move my hand in closer, the distance gets closer and closer, and then further and further away. And then our last command here is distance in inches. And it works the same way. So the code worked and functioned as expected. And thank you for watching my video.